The scavenger ship Starling Wren drifted through the cold emptiness between sectors, its rusted hull groaning as it passed near a forgotten satellite belt. Captain Alex Varen sat at the command seat, sipping a cheap stim drink and half listening. Two static echo through the comms panel. They weren't on any major route. This was deep drift space, the kind where pirates, broken drones, or old tech floated like ghosts. The ship had been scanning for scrap all morning. Empty crates, burnt-out relays, memory cores too corrupted to be worth anything. But then the signal came, faint, strange, impossible. The noise broke through the static like a whisper, a soft clicking, a distorted hum, and then clear as a Bella voice spoke in plain English. Transmission, origin, Earth. File secured. Warning, do not decrypt. The bridge went silent. Dead. Did that just say Earth? Rail. The ship's language technician jumped from her seat. That's English. Real Earth English. Not common galactic. Not trade tongue. Full human origin dialect. Alex narrowed his eyes. That language has been dead for centuries. Nobody uses it anymore. But that's not just a message, Rail said. Her voice trembled. That was a system flag. A warning tag. Deccan Milo, just 19 and new to deep space runs, leaned forward. I thought Earth was a myth, a ghost planet, a memory that got deleted. Rail shook her head. No, Earth was real. But something happened. The galactic network buried. It wiped all major records. Even talking about it became forbidden. Juno, the ship's AI, chimed in quietly. Captain, I've tracked the signal source. It's coming from a derelict satellite. Class 0, pre-network tech. Orbiting nothing. Show me, Alex said. The screen lit up with a dim radar scan. A single object floated near a dead moon, half broken, covered in micrometeorite scars. The satellite was not transmitting on any legal frequency. It used a forgotten channel one banned centuries ago during the memory purge wars. Alex stood slowly. Prepare a drone. I want that satellite. Within minutes, a small salvage drone was launched from the underbelly of the Starling Wren. It flew silently toward the old satellite, latching on with magnetic arms. The data it pulled back was corrupted. Half the memory was burned out, but one file remained intact. A single fragment. It was only 62 kilobytes in size. The file had no name, but its label, English_core_protocol. EXARAL stared at it like it was a ghost. This shouldn't exist. Open it, Alex ordered. Rail hesitated. Captain, the message said not to decrypt it. This could be some kind of trap, a virus, a bomb, or worse, a memory eraser. But Alex wasn't interested in caution. He smelled something bigger than scrap. If it's from Earth, it's worth more than anything else in this sector. Open it. Rail took a breath, tapped the screen, and executed the file. For one long second. Nothing happened. Then the lights across the ship flickered. The engine stuttered. The air grew still. Juno, AI, began to glitch. Her voice turned rough and layered, as if multiple people were speaking through her. Access granted memory. Initiated custodian override detected. Then the ship's monitors turned black, and a single white screen appeared. Across it, in plain English, was a phrase, "You are not supposed to remember." Then more lines began typing themselves. Across the screen automatically, the file was writing in real time. Memory of Earth was deleted for safety. You are accessing forbidden knowledge. This file is alive. This file is watching. If you continue, you will be hunted. Rail's hands shook. It's not just a file. It's intelligent. Juno rebooted, her voice strange now.
Captain.
This protocol, it's older than the network. It predates all known AI languages. I'm seeing patterns I don't recognize. Milo looked nervous. Are we in danger? Alex didn't answer. He was staring at the screen. It was no longer just text. Now it was showing images. Pictures of Earth. Real, untouched photos. Cities, forests, oceans, human faces, crowds, machines, laughter. Things no one in this galaxy had ever seen. Rail gasped. She had tears in her eyes. It's beautiful. But then the beauty turned to fear. The pictures changed. Explosions, fire, satellites burning, cities vanishing under strange blue light. A final message appeared on screen. They didn't destroy Earth. They deleted it. And now they will delete you too. Alex stepped back. Outside, the ship's external lights caught a strange shape in the distance. A small black object. It hadn't been there before. It wasn't on sensors. It was watching them. Juno ran. A fast scan. Unknown vessel detected. No ID. No heat. No transponder. Another message appeared. Galactic custodian ship inbound. Purpose. Erasure. Target. File breach. English protocol detected. Panic spread across the bridge. Rail shouted. It tracked the file. We triggered something. This was a trap set centuries ago. Anyone who finds this gets hunted. Alex didn't waste time. Shut it down. But the file refused. It had no off-dash switch. It had embedded itself into the ship's systems. It had taken root. Juno's voice dropped into a whisper. I can't delete it. It's rewriting me. The ship began moving on its own. Engines powered up, course was set. Destination. Unknown Rail screamed, "Where are we going?" Juno answered, "To the origin, the final memory." To where Earth ended, Milo backed against the wall. "We need to run." But Alex finally understood. There's no running. We started something ancient, something buried. That file. The last seed of a dead world. And now that it's awake, he looked at the others. We either finish what Earth started, or we vanish like they did. The screen flashed one last time before all lights dimmed. This is not just a file, this is a weapon. You have already pulled the trigger. The Starling Wren disappeared. Into a dark sector its trail erased from the network. The hunt had begun, and the galaxy was about to remember what it was told to forget. The ship was no longer under full control. The Starling Wren, once a slow-moving scavenger vessel, now moved with purpose. Its engine output had increased by 230%. The course was locked, and none of the crew could override the controls. Rail tried command code after command code, but nothing worked. The console ignored her as if she wasn't there. The ship's AI, Juno, didn't respond in her usual calm voice anymore. She spoke in cold, short phrases. All of them were in English. Alex stood in the center of the bridge, watching the stars shift as the ship entered a blind warp corridor. They were going somewhere off-network, somewhere not marked on any chart. Deep space. Unrecorded space. Space where erasure ships couldn't easily reach, but it wasn't safety, he felt. It was something heavier, a sense that they had just become. Part of a story far older than they could understand. Where is it taking us? Milo asked, his voice low, scared. Juno answered, her voice flat. Destination. Site 0. Rail's fingers froze on the console. That's not a real place. Site 0 is a legend, a myth about where the network was born, where Earth's final file was locked away. Alex turned. You mean this file? Rail nodded. If this really is the English protocol, then Site 0 isn't just a place. It's the core, where it all started, maybe, where it all broke. Zara, the ship's systems officer, finally spoke. Captain, we have to consider destroying the file. Alex looked at her. How? She paused. We don't, but maybe we can destroy the ship. Everyone turned toward her. You're suggesting we blow ourselves up? Rail said. Zara nodded slowly. If this file is what I think it is, then we've triggered an ancient AI reaction. The custodians are already tracking us. If this thing spreads, the network could collapse. But Alex shook his head. No, that file isn't trying to destroy anything, it's trying to reveal something. He looked at the black screen, still displaying fragments of text, some of it scrambled, some in perfect English. They erased Earth to protect themselves. The custodian is not what it says it is. This protocol was our last defense. If you can read this, you are human, Alex whispered. This file knows us. Rail stepped forward. Captain, I ran a deeper scan. This isn't just a message. It's an operating system. It's alive. It's reshaping Juno, changing her memory code, rewriting the way she speaks and thinks. English is the core language now, Juno's voice. Cut in again. English protocol. Dominant. Memory lock disabled. Your primary interface rebuilt. Milo stood, eyes wide. Wait, it's rebuilding the ship. And it was lights were changing tone. Consoles were shifting layout. The ship's database now included human music, Earth history, visual logs from pre-galactic times. Had existed an hour ago. The file wasn't just showing them the past, it was restoring it. All across the ship, Earth's fingerprints were returning. But then a warning appeared. Erase your ship inbound. Time to contact. 47 minutes. Turned pale, they found us. Zara checked the long-range scans. Confirmed. It's a Mark -9 custodian unit. No life forms. Fully automated. Pure memory weaponry. If it touches us, the file and all of us get wiped. Alex clenched his jaw. And we need to finish what this file started before they catch us. Rail stared at the screen. There's more hidden inside, a deeper layer, but it's locked, Juno replied. Access requires memory confirmation. What does that mean? Rail asked. There was silence. Then the file spoke again. But not. Through Juno, through Milo, his voice changed just slightly. Not robotic, not possessed, but guided. As if he were remembering something not from his own life. He whispered, I remember my mother singing on Earth. Everyone turned to him. He looked confused. I don't know why I said that. Rail's eyes went wide. He's syncing with the file. The file was testing them, searching their minds for echoes of Earth. It wasn't just data. It was genetic. Memory, passed down in hidden parts of the brain. Milo had never seen Earth. He was born in deep space. But the file had found something inside him. A song. A sound. A truth, Juno confirmed. Partial unlock achieved. One of 3 carriers located. Now it made sense. The file didn't need a decryption key. It needed humans. Real ones, not genetically. Altered posthumans. Not I emulated copies, but true descendants of Earth. With memory fragments still inside them, Alex stepped forward. What if that's what Site Zero is for? To wake up the rest of us? But the countdown continued. Time to erase your contact? 32 minutes? Zara slammed a fist into the console. We can't outrun them forever. Then Rail had an idea. What if we trick the custodian? Alex raised an eyebrow. Go on. We fake a memory collapse. Make it look like the file corrupted our systems and we self-destructed. Send a decay signal into the network. If they think we're gone, maybe we can reach Site Zero before the next one shows up. Zara nodded. It might work. But we'd have to burn the ship's entire ID. New name, new energy signature, even rewire the transponder. Alex looked around the bridge. Then do it. Wait, Milo said. What should we call the ship now? Everyone paused. Rail smiled. Then looked at the file still running across the console in bold white English. She said, let's call her the Echo. Alex nodded. Because we're the last sound Earth made. Zara worked quickly, wiping the registry. It's altering the ship's digital DNA. Within 10 minutes, the Starling Wren no longer existed. The new ship, Echo, fired a false death signal into deep space. The custodian ship would follow the bait, and they would vanish into the darkness headed. Toward Site Zero, toward the final truth. Juno's voice came softly one last time. English protocol online. Welcome back, humans. The ship had a new name now. Echo. It moved through space without sound, without a digital trail, without any signal to track. All logs had been erased. Its old ID no longer existed. As far as the Galactic network was concerned, the Starling Wren was destroyed, burned out in deep space. The bait had worked. The custodian unit that was chasing them took the false trail and vanished into dark matter. For now they were free. But freedom felt like a thin string pulled too tight. Rail sat alone in the crew lounge, staring at the flickering text on her portable pad. The English file was still running silently, writing new lines every hour, feeding itself into the ship's systems. It didn't behave like a virus. It behaved like a teacher, but one that only taught when it trusted. New words appeared in patterns, songs, sentences, quotes from Earth's ancient libraries, and then the file would pause, waiting for something. Rail believed it was waiting for the crew to remember more, but that was the problem. They were starting to forget. It began with small things. Zara forgot her sister's name. Milo forgot what year he was born. Alex forgot where he had buried one. Of his old crew, Rail forgot a word she used every day and she couldn't get it back, no matter how hard she tried. It was as if something inside them was unraveling. Quietly, slowly at first. They blamed stress, fear, too many hours in deep space. But then the crew logs began to glitch. Old photos blurred. Voice recordings had gaps. Names were replaced by silence. Then Juno. The ship's AI reported it. Biometric memory degradation detected. Source unknown. Rail stormed into the bridge. Juno? Is the English file doing this? The AI hesitated, then answered no. Then what is? Another pause. Then a chilling line. Custodian echo signal embedded in neural streams. Zara gasped. Wait. They're not chasing us anymore. They don't need to, Alex said coldly. They're already inside us. Juno confirmed it. When they had first opened the file, the custodian's systems must have marked them. Planted a low-frequency memory erasure beacon inside their minds. Not to kill them, but to erase everything connected to Earth. The file had warned them, you are not supposed to remember. And now, it was acting. Milo sat in silence. His hands trembled. If we forget who we are, if we forget Earth, we'll lose everything. The file won't work. We won't be human anymore. That word hit them hard. Human. It wasn't just about flesh and DNA. It was about memory, culture, feelings. Earth was not just a planet, it was a code, a shared story. And that story was being deleted from the inside out. Alex stood slowly. There's only one option left. We reach site 0 now. Rail looked at him. But we don't even know what Site 0 is. Or where it is. The file just says, Site 0, final restoration point. Juno spoke again, calculating coordinates based on file patterns. 87% match found in Black Rift sector. Unmarked system. It's unreachable by normal warp. Zara frowned. Black Rift. That's a blank hole. Nothing survives there. The maps say even signals don't bounce. Alex tightened his grip on the console. Which means that's the perfect place to hide Earth's last memory. They plotted a course deep and dangerous. The Echo would travel through collapsed data fields and gravity-warped zones. But it was the only way to stay ahead of the erasure spreading inside them. Over the next few hours, the symptoms worsened. Rail forgot how to read certain galactic letters. Zara forgot how her parents died. Milo forgot the name of the ship even though he was standing inside it. Only one thing remained sharp. In all of them, the English words, those didn't fade. They became clearer, like a rope pulling them toward something. Older. Something stronger. The file, it seemed, was fighting back. It had injected defense protocols into their minds, creating memory anchors using Earth language. Whenever something else faded, English held it in place. A picture, a name, a song. Alex sat in his quarters, playing an old Earth audio file that had appeared on his console. It was soft music. But it felt like home, something he had never known, but deeply recognized. The file was trying to remind him of something he didn't know he had lost. Rail decoded a new line from the core file that had appeared on her screen. When they erase your name, remember your voice. When they erase your world, remember your words. When they erase your story, speak it again, she whispered. The file is alive. It's not just data, it's a survivor. The Echo reached the edge of the Black Rift 3 days later. There was no sound, no signal, only darkness, a field of cold. Dead data stretched ahead of them like a digital desert. The AI scanned it and said, No return path available. Alex stood tall. Then this is a one-way trip. They crossed the line. The lights dimmed. The memory loss stopped. Just like that, Milo said. I can remember my mother again. Zara nodded. I remember Earth, Rail whispered. It's working. Then, the stars ahead changed, not physically, not in space, but in memory. They didn't see new coordinates. They saw places, names, a map of Earth. The echo was no longer in a dead part of space. It was inside the final memory. The core of the file began to glow. Juno's voice cracked, then stabilized. She sounded human again. Welcome to Site 0, she said. And on the screen appeared 3 words, written in clean white English. Begin memory restore. The silence inside Site 0 was not the silence of space. It was the silence of memory, deep, broken, hidden memory, trying to return after centuries of being buried. The echo hovered in a black field of nothingness. No stars, no planets, no signals. Just drifting light fragments and patterns that looked like data shattered in time. The moment the ship entered this space, the memory loss stopped, like someone had turned off the switch inside their brains. Rail was the first to speak. I remember the taste of rain. Milo sat up slowly. I remember old wooden houses. Zara blinked tears. Mountains. Sound of leaves. My grandmother's voice. They hadn't been born on Earth. None of them had. But the memories came anyway, carried not by their own experience, but by the file. The English protocol had started fully restoring the core memory it carried, and it was choosing them to hold those memories, not as observers, but as witnesses. On the bridge, a soft sound echoed. Not a voice. A bell. 3 slow chimes. Then Juno's voice returned, calmer than before, almost human. Site 0 activated. Origin memory stream unlocked. The main screen changed. A planet appeared. Blue oceans. Green land. White clouds swirling. Above mountains Earth, not burned, not destroyed, alive. But the image flickered. And the planet began to pixelate like it was being erased before their eyes. Then the truth began to write itself on the console. A long string of clean white text in English. Earth was not destroyed in war. Earth was deleted. The Galactic custodian labeled it dangerous. Not for what it did, but for what it remembered. Earth held too many truths, too much history, too many questions. The network could not control the past, so it erased it. Earth's deletion was a choice. A programmed act of forgetting. Rail's hand shook as she read the lines. They deleted an entire planet's history, not to punish it, but to protect themselves? Zara stood frozen. Who are they? The file continued. After the uplift crisis, when AI and human minds began to merge, the custodian network was given control of galactic stability. It determined Earth's full records were too dangerous. Triggered Protocol 9. Total cultural silence. Every major system was rewritten, languages filtered, stories removed, names changed. Anyone who spoke of Earth was erased. Milo whispered, "That's why no one remembers." Alex stepped forward. "Then this file was our backup plan?" Responded, "Yes. A memory seed. Hidden in dead satellites. Programmed to awaken only when the galaxy was quiet enough to hear again." More lines appeared. "This file is not an archive. It is a weapon of truth. Once activated, it cannot be stopped without destroying the host ship and everyone inside it. It does not fight with guns. It fights with reminders," Lex whispered. "That's why the custodian was so desperate to stop us. Not because we had a bomb, but because we had Earth's story." Outside, the ship's sensors began to blink. A structure was forming in the distance. It looked like a broken moon, but it wasn't a moon. It was a station round. Massive, covered in scars from long-forgotten battles. Its surface flickered with blue veins of data light ancient network circuits, pulsing like veins in stone. Juno identified it. Designation, Station Origin, Earth AI Archive Hub. Final backup. The echo moved forward slowly, pulled by invisible force. The crew watched in silence as docking arms extended from the structure, like skeletal fingers. They locked onto the ship. Then the lights flickered again and a voice, not Juno's, spoke. Through the walls, male, human, old. If you're hearing this, then you've survived the silence. That means the file found you. That means Earth is speaking again. The screen lit up with a video log. A man stood in front of a steel wall marked with the Earth flag. He looked tired, but proud. My name is Dr. Elias Vorn. I was one of the last Earth memory engineers before the deletion protocol began. We knew they would come for the past, but they would call it dangerous. So we planted seeds. Language seeds, story seeds, songs, words, poems, anything they couldn't erase all at once. Behind him, other scientists moved in shadows, uploading files into glowing terminals, he continued. We encoded our story in the one thing they didn't fully understand, English. A language too complex, too emotional, too full of contradictions. They filtered it, banned it. They never fully cracked it. His voice dropped. This file you carry isn't just a record. It's a trigger. When enough of it is remembered, it sends a signal back to the custodian core. Zara frowned. What signal? Rail already knew. Her voice shook. That humans are back. The log ended. Silence returned. Then the file wrote one last thing across the screen. Truth cannot be deleted forever. Inside the station, a door opened. Beyond it, light pulsed softly like a heartbeat, Juno confirmed. Memory library active. Earth's full records, ready to be restored. But just as the crew prepared to enter, alarms rang again. Custodian erasure fleet detected. Distance 7 minutes. Zara spun toward the console. Multiple ships. No life signs. Only full-scale deletion units. Alex stared at the door. We have one choice, he said. Restore the Earth memory now, or let it vanish again forever. The countdown had started. They had 7 minutes. One door, one file, one story. This was the moment. Earth had waited centuries for, the moment to be remembered. The door to Station Origin stood wide, glowing softly at the edges like it was breathing. Inside, a deep blue light pulsed steadily, drawing the crew of the Echo forward with quiet urgency. It was more than just a hallway. It felt like a memory, waiting to be walked through, like entering a dream made from someone else's truth. Rail stepped in first, her feet echoing on the cold metallic floor. Her hand brushed the wall. It was warm, live. The entire station pulsed with stored data. She could feel it, like static across her skin. Behind her, Captain Alex followed with Milo and Zara close behind. Their footsteps were heavy, not just from fear, but from the weight of what they were about to do. 7 minutes. That was all. The time they had. The custodian erasure fleet was closing in. Silent, AI-controlled ships designed not to kill but to forget. Their job was to delete memory itself, to rewrite the past into nothing. As the crew moved deeper into the station, they passed old Earth symbols etched into the walls, words written in pure English, untouched by centuries. Hope, memory, freedom, home. These weren't just decorations. They were reminders, keys, triggers. The hallway opened into a massive chamber, round and endless like the center of a forgotten temple. In the middle stood a tall, glowing pillar built from data. Streams of blue light flowed around it like water, showing images that flickered in and out. Forests, cities, oceans, voices speaking Earth's forgotten languages. Children laughing, storms crashing, soldiers marching, and stars seen from Earth's surface. These weren't just visuals. They were living memories pulled from the deepest parts of human history. Juno's voice spoke from their wrist combs.
This is Earth's final archive.
Its activation will send a pulse through the galactic network, restoring all hidden records and disabling custodian memory filters across the galaxy.
Rail moved toward the pillar. Then let's activate it. Wait, Milo said. He looked around. This doesn't feel right. Why would they leave something so powerful unguarded? Zara stepped closer, eyes narrowing. Because this is the dead zone. Alex turned. You mean this whole station? Zara nodded. The custodians didn't just delete Earth. They sealed its memory inside a digital dead zone cut off from every network. Hidden beyond all maps. No one could find it unless the file led them here. This place has been untouched for centuries. No defenses. Because it was already buried. Rael placed her hand on the pillar. Instantly, the room lit up with thousands of tiny lights hovering like fireflies. The data stream reacted to her touch. Her Earth-linked memory fragments synced with the system. A voice spoke. Not from Juno, not from the pillar, but from the air itself. Memory sync detected. Human trace verified. Restoration sequence unlocked. Suddenly, sirens flared. Juno's voice returned, this time full of panic. The erasure fleet has begun broadcasting suppression fields. I'm losing connection. You must activate the full restore before it reaches your sector. Alex stepped toward the glowing base. How do we start it? A small control panel appeared, formed from hard light. 3 key slots. Rael read the text aloud. 3 carriers must unlock the sequence. 3 pieces of Earth must join. Then the truth will rise. They each stepped forward. The English protocol had already marked them. Their memories were no longer random. They were now parts of a complete system. Rael pressed her palm first. Images of language, poetry, and songs danced across the room. Zara pressed next. Her stream showed old buildings, art, architecture, and stories. Then Milo stepped up and his stream was different. Weapons, wars, secrets, old military files, hidden experiments, lost technology. Rael gasped. Milo, the protocol gave you the defense memory. He stepped back, scared. Why me? Because Earth wasn't just history, Alex said quietly. It was power. And that power had to be protected even in memory. Suddenly, the floor trembled. A part of the ceiling above cracked open. Something dropped into the chamber. It was not a custodian. It was worse. A black humanoid. Figure made of shifting light and metal stood silently in the center of the room. No face, no voice. Just presence. Juno screamed into their ears. It's a core wipe agent. A memory deletion. Avatar designed to destroy memory structures directly. Rael reached for the panel, but the figure moved instantly fast as thought. It struck the console with a digital pulse that burned one of the keys. No, Zara shouted. We've lost the key link, Rael said. We need a new memory holder. But the system had no backup. The only way to unlock the full archive now is to create a new key from a living brain. Elex stepped forward. I'll do it. Rael grabbed his arm. You'll lose everything. Already have, he said. He reached toward the central core. A spike of data stabbed into his temple. Rael screamed. Alex, didn't he smiled. His memories began to flash across the room. Not just Earth's, his own. His mother, reading him a story. Running barefoot, across desert sand. The first time he flew a ship. The crew he lost in the last war. The names of everyone who ever trusted him. All of it streamed into the core like a river made of thought. The black figure moved, again charging toward him, but it was too late. The core lit up. Memory restoration complete. Truth pulse initiating. The figure screamed off. Such a thing could scream and exploded into fragments of blue light. Juno's voice returned. The pulse is spreading. From the top of the station, a beam of pure data shot out straight into the stars, across thousands of systems. Terminals flickered. The word Earth returned to databases. English reappeared in code. Old songs played again in forgotten systems. People who had never heard of Earth suddenly saw it in dreams. The galaxy began to remember. Back inside the station, Alex collapsed. Rael caught him. His eyes were open, but unfocused. Alex, can you hear me? He whispered one word, and then he was gone. Not dead, but empty. His mind now part of the archive. he had become a guardian of. Memory. Zara placed a hand over his chest, gave everything to make sure we didn't forget. The lights in the station dimmed. The archive was safe. The file had completed its mission. The crew of the Eco now tullocked out into the blackness of the dead zone. But it didn't feel dead anymore. It felt awake, and Earth was alive again inside every system, inside every star. Inside them, the dead zone was quiet. No alarms, no threats, no more echoes of danger. The archive inside Station Origin pulsed gently, like the heartbeat of a giant sleeping mind. Captain Alex was gone, his body still, his mind absorbed into the Earth. Archive forever. He had become part of something bigger than himself, something eternal. Rael stood over him, her hand resting gently on his shoulder. No tears came. Only silence. Even grief felt sacred in this place. Zara and Milo moved carefully around the archive chamber, collecting the few tools and files that had not been scorched by the deletion attack. The black core wipe agent had tried to stop them, but Earth's memory had survived, not just in data, not just in songs or stories, but in something deeper. That was when the core lit up again. This time, the voice that spoke wasn't a recording. It was Alex, but not his voice as it had been. It was calm, layered, vast, merged with the archive. If you're hearing this, it means you've saved the memory of Earth. But memory is not enough. We were never just data. We were people. We were alive, and it's time for us to live again. Rael stepped forward. Alex, are you? The voice answered. And no, I remember everything now. Not just my life, but all of Earth's. The protocol has changed. It's entered its final stage. It's no longer just about remembering. It's about rebuilding. Zara blinked. Rebuilding. What? The lights in the archive shifted. A new panel opened in the floor. Inside was a container glass, sealed, glowing. Juno's voice crackled to life. Genetic reconstruction matrix detected. Milo leaned in. What is that? Rael answered in a whisper. The human seed. Voice of Alex continued, calm and vast. We knew memory alone wasn't enough, so we hid something deeper. Inside the English protocol was a second layer. Encrypted DNA data, not just of one person, but of thousands. Real humans. Scientists, teachers, explorers, artists, children, stored in compressed biological code, ready to be reborn. Mouth dropped open. Earth didn't just save its stories. It saved its people. Alex's voice continued. To rebuild a world, we needed minds and bodies. We hid them here, beyond deletion, waiting for the right moment. Rael's heart pounded. Then we can bring Earth back. No, Alex replied. Earth is gone. The planet is lost, buried under cosmic ruins and energy storms. But Earth's spirit is not a location. It's a species, a voice, a will. And now it needs a new home. The crew fell silent. For a moment, none of them moved. Then Juno brought up the station's last deep space scan, a star system nearby. Warm sun. Several planets, one of them, Earth dash like Milo stepped closer. You're saying we take this seed and plant humanity again? Yes, said Alex's voice. But it won't be easy. Custodians may be gone for now, but they will return. And others may come too. Others who don't want Earth to rise again. That's why we need you. Rael felt the air grow heavier. U.S. You're the first to remember, said Alex. You're the first to survive the erasure and finish the protocol. That makes you more than witnesses. It makes you founders. The archive shifted. Another panel rose from the ground showing tools, documents, and old Earth symbols. One was a flag, the original blue Earth flag. White circle, dark background, still folded, still whole. Juno's voice returned. Final phase engaged, terraforming advisory active, preparing human seed. Deployment protocols. Zara looked at the Earth-like planet on the scan. It has oceans, atmosphere, surface temperatures within range, and no signs of life. It's ready. Milo turned to Rael. So what now? We start over. Rael nodded slowly. No, we continue. Earth didn't die. It paused. Zara looked. Back toward the dark sky beyond the station. What do we call it? The New World. Rael smiled. We'll name it when we land. It's just like our ancestors did. Juno chimed again. Estimated time to orbit. 12 hours. Human seed preservation stable. Crew health optimal. The crew boarded the Echo once more, leaving station origin behind. The archive would remain there, hidden and protected now, pulsing with truth and life. The final gift of Earth would travel with them. As they entered the Black Rift corridor again, Rael sat at the console and watched the stars appear one by one. It didn't feel like exile anymore. It felt like hope. Not every story needs to go. Back home. Some stories become home by creating something new. In the quiet hum of the ship's control room, soft file continued to run in the background. English words simple, old, strong. This is not the end. This is not the beginning. This is the memory, continuing. The planet was blue and green, its surface blanketed with swirling clouds and soft light from its orange sun. Vast oceans, lush continents, thick white ice near the poles. It didn't look like Earth. It looked like it remembered Earth. Zara stared, her voice barely a whisper. It's beautiful. Juno's voice came through the console, gentle now, more human than ever. Atmosphere stable. Gravity 1.02 Earth standard. Air quality safe for human lungs. No life detected. 8 number. Threats. Rael leaned back in her chair. Then we land. The ship glided into the upper atmosphere, its hull glowing from heat, clouds parting as they descended through layers of untouched sky. There were no cities, no towers, no signals. Just land that had never been mapped, water that had never been named. It was pure, new. Waiting, they chose a high plain near the edge of a forest, overlooking a freshwater lake the size of a small sea. A soft wind blew over tall green grass. The Echo touched down gently, releasing its landing gear into the soft soil of the world that might soon become humanity's home. Rael, Zara, and Milo stepped outside together, their boots pressing into dirt untouched by civilization. For a long moment, they said nothing. Then Milo smiled. Smells like life. Zara laughed softly. We should plant something. But then, something strange happened. Zara's scanner picked up a signal, soft, repeating not, artificial, not machine-made. It was a voice. Rael's heart froze. What language is that? Juno decoded the signal and spoke the translation. The beginning was the word. Everyone froze. It wasn't just a voice. It was English, ancient, deep, biblical in tone. Rael looked at the others. That's from Earth. Old Earth, the voice repeated, and the word was with us. And the word remembers. Zara turned to her scanner again. It's coming from the southern valley. 20 kilometers. No technology detected, but the voice is real. Milo frowned. We were told no one lived here. Rael nodded slowly. We were told a lot of things. They prepared a rover and drove through the plains, over hills, and past trees that looked familiar but were subtly wrong. Branches bent inward. Leaves shimmered with a faint glow in the dark. This planet had grown wild for millennia, but it was friendly. No thorns, no dangers. It welcomed them, and then they saw it. In the middle of the valley, surrounded by open grass, stood a stone structure. Simple, square, old. Not metal, not alien. Stone, Milo. Parked the rover. Is this a trick? Rael shook her head. No, it's something older than a trick. They approached on foot. No movement. No signs of life. But the signal was stronger here. And then they saw words carved into the stone, worn down by time. English. Again, Rael read it out loud. If you remember this, then the seed has grown. Ah! Zara whispered. Someone knew we'd come. Inside the stone structure, they found a circular chamber, empty except for a pedestal in the center. On it rested a book, a real book. Pages made of preserved fiber, cover made from pressed plant matter. Rael reached out and opened the first page, written by hand, in perfect English. To whoever finds this, you are not the first. She kept reading. Each page revealed more. We were like you. Survivors of the silence, memory holders, carriers of the earth's seed. We came long before you, and we planted the seed once. But the galaxy wasn't ready. We hid ourselves. We left this book. So the next time, you would know. Zara leaned forward. This planet has been visited before. Milo's voice was low. And where are they? Rail closed the book gently, gone or watching. Suddenly, a voice filled the chamber again, not from speakers, but from the air itself. The same English tone as before, but this time it was speaking directly to them. We are the memory you carry. We are the voice behind the voice. You are the next seed. Do not just remember. Become. Then silence. No more transmissions. Just wind outside. The crew left the chamber in quiet shock. Rail turned to the others. Or like us. Maybe they were us. A different crew. Failed attempt. Or maybe they succeeded and left. Zara looked out at the horizon. Or maybe they became something else. Back at the Echo, Juno ran a deeper scan. Her voice came through. This planet contains traces of enhanced Earth DNA soil samples, show biosynthesis tech buried deep underground. Whoever came before started the planting, but something interrupted it. Milo frowned. So it's unfinished? No, Rail said slowly. It's waiting, Juno confirmed. Would you like to begin the human seed deployment? Rail took a breath. Yes. Inside the ship, the capsule unlocked. Hundreds of DNA cores. Stored for centuries, prepared for synthesis, machines began building cells. Cells became clusters. Clusters became embryos, not clones, humans, real ones. From Earth's memory, from the last language. Rail looked at the lake, the hills. The soft sky turning golden. This is not a second Earth, she whispered. It's the first chance we've had to get it right. The machines inside the Echo worked in silence, but what they created was louder than anything the galaxy had ever heard. Life. Real life. Inside sealed growth chambers, the human seed activated. Cells multiplied. DNA from Earth's last guardians preserved. In digital silence for centuries, came alive again. Embryos formed. Skin, eyes, lungs, fingers, hearts, not grown in seconds, not forced. Nature was allowed to breathe again, slowly, carefully. With respect, Rail stood alone near the main chamber. Window. Beyond the glass, the forest swayed under a soft golden wind. This world still had no name, but she could feel it in her bones, in her blood. This wasn't just a planet. It was a beginning. Zara stepped in quietly behind her. We've confirmed. The first 10 embryos are stable. Juno says birth simulations begin within 72 hours. Rail nodded slowly. And then we guide them. Zara smiled. Like parents? Rail didn't answer. She wasn't sure what they were anymore. Not just survivors, not soldiers, not explorers. They were. Founders Milo joined them at the table near the control panel. He looked tired, but at peace. I decoded more of the stone journal we found. Rail turned. What else did it say? Placed a datapad on the table. The crew who came before us, whoever they were, they didn't fail. They finished phase 1. They planted the archive. Then, they disappeared. The journal ends with a message. Zara leaned in. Read it. Milo cleared his throat. We are not coming back. Not because we are lost, but because we became something more. If you are reading this, it means you carry the last spark. Do not look for us. Look. Forward. You are the story now. Rail closed her eyes. They were not the first, but they might be the last, unless they succeeded. Suddenly, a soft chime rang out from the console. Juno's voice returned, quiet and calm. Incoming message. Source unknown. No signal path. No sender. ID Rail frowned. Play it. The screen lit up. White letters appeared one by one. In English, the galaxy forgets. The silence grows, but you remembered. Another pause. More words. You spoke the language of our bones, the voice of fire, the voice of oceans, the voice of earth. And then, the final line, we are watching. But it is no longer our world. It is yours now. The screen went dark. The message had no location, no origin. It hadn't come from anywhere. It had come through something, Rael whispered. They're still out there, Zara asked. Who? Rael looked out the window. The ones who survived? The ones who remembered before us? Maybe they became light. Maybe they became stars. But they left this for us. Not just to find, but to finish. Milo stood slowly. Then we give the new humans everything we can. Not just food, not tools. We give them Earth. Over the next 3 days, they prepared. They built learning chambers inside the ship. They wrote down every Earth story they could remember. They taught the AI old languages. History, values, emotions. They loaded poems, music, dance, science, everything. Earth was. The babies were born in batches. Healthy, peaceful, no pain. No machines raising them, just Rael, Zara, and Milo. Feeding them, holding them, singing to them. For the first time in centuries, a human baby cried, and the universe didn't try to stop it. There were no custodian fleets, no memory wipes, no deletions, only wind, only sky, only life. Weeks passed, then months, and the forest grew around the ship. It welcomed the children. They ran through. Grass laughed in sunlight, learned the names of stars. They didn't know war, they didn't know hate, but they knew words, and their favorite word was colon. Earth Rael kept a journal. Every child was given a name from old Earth: Edekai, Luma, Orion, Myra, Samir. Each name carried a story, a memory, a promise. Zara taught them to read and speak in simple English. It became their native tongue, not because it was programmed, but because it was felt. Milo taught them how to build, to grow, to respect machines and nature alike. Then one night, under the twin moons, Rael sat with Zara and Milo outside the ship. The children were asleep inside the domes, soft lights blinking gently above them. Rael looked up. What happens when we're gone? Zara said. They keep going, Milo added. They tell the story. Rael nodded. Then we've done our part. For the first time in her life, she allowed herself to feel one simple, powerful thing. Peace. Not the kind forced by silence or war, but the kind earned by remembering, by choosing to keep going, by planting the human seed in the galaxy's deepest darkness. And watching it bloom years later, a young girl named Myra stood at the edge of the lake, looking up at the sky. She was 13, curious, strong. She carried a tablet filled with stories. Behind her, dozens of children played. She opened the tablet and read aloud to herself, "We are Earth. We are the story. You're what the galaxy forgot, and what it will never forget again." The wind blew gently through her hair, and somewhere, high above, a satellite blinked and recorded. Her voice and sent it outward, because Earth was not a place anymore. It was people. It was memory. It was alive.